Horizon Forbidden West's DLC The Burning Shores is a superb addition to the Horizon franchise, and might actually be better than the base game it is attached to. Welcome everybody, my name is Doragon and this is my review of The Burning Shores DLC for Horizon Forbidden West. Let's talk about the base game for a moment, because I kind of forgot to do a full review of it. I liked the base game of Forbidden West despite some obvious and glaring issues, like entire region popping, floaty and imprecise climbing and jumping, intense and unbalanced difficulty spikes, and so on. In spite of all this, I enjoyed my 50 plus hours with it, but I did always feel like something was off with it. Being the middle entry of a trilogy, that something was a comprehensive conclusion, story pacing, and direction. Even in the finale, a monster-enclosed mission with multiple enemy waves and boss fights, I felt those three concerns, despite enjoying what was happening in-game. The size of the world was a big reason for this. Because the world was so large, much of it remained undiscovered and unexplored for me, even after the game's conclusion. It also meant that with the required traversal, all of the side quests and jobs, you could very easily forget what was going on in the main story by the time that you happened to next just stumble across it. Something that never seemed to happen in the game's predecessor, Horizon Zero Dawn. There was a lack of something that united all of these factors. A something that Burning Shores has in spades. Focus. Focus is what made God of War Ragnarok the standout release of 2022 for me. Everyone on that team worked together to achieve a singular goal. Burning Shores feels similar to that. A new, much smaller map means a more intimate feeling to traversal and the region. I know the Burning Shores map by landmarks and memory. I cannot say the same for even one area of the Forbidden West map. The map fits on the screen when in the map menu. You can see and understand the layout of the whole thing. That's not to say it is small. There's 8 kilometers side to side of the map. But it is memorable. You spend enough time within it to become familiar with it, and this gives the very basis of the whole expansion a much more familiar and welcoming feeling. Having a near constant companion character allows real character development as well, through nuanced moments, character conversations and little things throughout the expansion, not just in big moments when the story requires it. In the base game, I often found that I felt no connection to the companions, other than Val thanks to an entire previous game, because they were so sporadically involved in either gameplay or the ongoing story. Focusing on just one companion here is an excellent choice in many regards, not least of all, story. And the story? That's front and centre in this expansion. Not hidden behind hours of traversal, required unattained skills or kit unlocks and arbitrary side quests that I felt almost plagued the main game. There are side quests in Burning Shores, and some fun secrets such as finding 5 dinosaur figurines for a trophy, but they never detract from or overtake the main narrative. Much like the aforementioned God of War Ragnarok, the side quests here actually deepen the core narrative, link back to it, or stem from it, and every aspect is made better thanks to this fact. For me, this expansion felt more like the wonder and will to discover that Zero Dawn offered, and after Forbidden West's base game that often felt like a disjointed slog, to have that return to an older, happier feeling while advancing the series' narrative and formula was a wonderful feeling that truly elevated the expansion for me. Now that's not to say that the Burning Shores resolves every challenge that I had with the base game. I played the game on hard difficulty, and generally really enjoyed the challenge, but there were moments when the difficulty spiked to ridiculous degrees. These moments didn't come in boss fights or stealth moments, but at times where you'd engage a solo machine with nothing else around, and then suddenly be swamped by 8 others, giving no respite to reset, take stock and handle the situation. Or in the finale, the drill arms pinning you to the ground if you put even half a foot wrong, and not letting go, annihilating your health bar and resetting the last 5 minutes of progress. Underground attacks moving faster than the player character can, or ranged attacks that make zero sense 300 meters up in the air. There are many occasions that this game just feels unfair. I expect a challenge trying to take on a Thunderjaw or Hellwalker, for example. I don't expect to have to cheese a fair few situations, because they are unassailable otherwise though. Then, there is the general game stability and design. Forbidden West was very buggy at launch, and Guerrilla Games worked hard to squash all of the bugs and faults that they could. But for a released title, there's only so much you can do. I feel a few more months bug squashing would have made the overall release less buggy and more stable, along with missing the release window of Elden Ring. But alas, that didn't happen, and we now have a game that's okay, but falls over on occasion and impacts the experience negatively. Because of this fact, the impact is felt throughout the DLC too. I got stuck in the floor, for example. Waist deep, just stuck in the open, and had to reload the game to resolve it, losing 15 minutes progression because of the save feature in this game. When you have to travel 4 kilometers to a save point each time, the game needs more plentiful checkpoints just for when it does break, or you accidentally fall to your death because the climbing is imprecise and has different controls to other titles. If you aren't going to offer the plentiful checkpoints due to a conscious design choice, then allow an anywhere manual save. Real life happens, and we may need to duck out at any time to take care of real life. So saving our game to take care of those responsibilities feels like a very basic ask. In a game world 8 kilometers wide in the case of Burning Shores, a lot can happen in those 4 kilometers before another save point that will also reset your progress. So many times I put the controller down and turned the console off because of losing so much progress that wasn't hugely engaging first time round, being mostly traversal from A to B, that I just couldn't face doing it again immediately, and I had to walk away. Ghost of Tsushima and God of War get this right in the PlayStation suite of studios. So hopefully, Guerrilla work with Sucker Punch and Santa Monica to improve this situation in the next Horizon game. Or just overcome it completely by allowing us to save at any time from the pause menu. There are times when the words, "because video games," should be taken into the design philosophy of a title. And the save feature of Horizon needs those words applying to it to improve the experience in future titles. But the storytelling and characterization of Burning Shores should be carried through to future titles. It surpassed the main game, felt more akin to Zero Dawn, one of the best games of the previous console generation, and actually stuck with me after the game ended. It got me excited for the conclusion of the trilogy, something I could not say after the conclusion of Forbidden West's main narrative. It just saddens me that with the setup, we won't be seeing the return of Lance Reddick as Silence in the next installment, giving the actors untimely passing. As much as the character is infuriating, the performance has always been exceptional. A statement that can spread to every actor in Burning Shores. But the loss of Lance does make me realise that we should cherish the moments and experiences like Burning Shores, where we are transported to different worlds and lives by a brilliant narrative, generally good mechanics, and powerful acting. So thank you, Guerrilla Games. Thank you, Horizon Forbidden West. I really enjoyed Burning Shores, and can definitely recommend it, even with the challenges I faced in the base game that needs to be completed to access this DLC. I think it is an experience that all fans of open world RPGs should have. And if you enjoyed this content, here is my review of God of War Ragnarok, the previous PlayStation Studios release. Otherwise, your viewership is more than enough for me. Thank you for watching, and until next time, have yourselves a fantastic day. And take care.